Hey guys, welcome back to another Climax Combo Top 10 video. Today we are going to be doing Puzzle and Dragons. Super cool set. Both of us used to play Puzzle and Dragons way back in the day when it first came out, kind of our gateway gotcha game pretty much.
It's such a throwback seeing some of these cards and seeing a lot of these new cards. It's just really cool.
Yeah, a lot of them didn't recognize. A lot of older characters or have some new forms. It's pretty neat. Kind of cool to see how different the game is now, but nonetheless, still an exciting set for us. And we think Bushiroad did a really good job with it. It's super fun. It looks really cool. A lot of neat stuff, and
a lot of creativity.
Yeah,
they did a good job implementing some of the mechanics of Puzzle Dragons into the game. We think the set does require some creativity to get the most value out of the cards, which is just a lot of fun to see. Sometimes I feel like deck building is just a little too easy.
Yeah.
But this one, it seems cool. Very cool.
The when first reading the list, I mean, I don't know if you felt the same, but I personally wasn't super excited in the every individual card. But once you get done with it, once you start imagining the builds, the set gets kind of insane.
100% agree. I was reading the cards. I was like, man, Bushi, I see they're trying, but it's just not clicking. And then after reading the set again, it's like, wow, this set is freaking cool.
It comes together.
And like always, guys, our top 10 will just be our favorite cards. We add a couple maybe not so strong cards just to spice up the list that we just think are fun. If you think we missed any cards, let us know down below. But like we said before, we feel like since this set does require a little more creativity, some of these cards might look weak alone, but coming together, they do seem really strong. So it was really hard to just pick 10 out of this entire set, but we did our best. So to start things off with number 10, we have this 1/1 Remu, 6k power, 2 effects, as experience 2. If you have experience 2, she has plus 1k. Second effect, combos with standby. At the start of your attack phase, if this is in your front row, if you have 5 or less hand, you can pay cost, which is send to standby from stage to waiting room. If you do, choose one of your other characters and stand it. So really neat, the fact that you can just kind of standby out anything and be able to attack with it that turn. We think it's super cool. You know, usually these are tied to the own character coming out to doing it, but this one allows you to bring out anything to do it. So if you're level 2 and you stand by out a level 3, and then boom, you attack with it right off the bat. That's pretty cool. Of course, there are some glaring weaknesses with this card, it being a 1/6k with no encore, or sorry, 1/7k with no encore, and the fact that you need 5 or less cards in hand for it to pop off. But nonetheless, I think there are some situations where this card can be really strong. And if anything, you could just play from your hand for 1 stock later, and then just cheat out level 3 and attack with it immediately. I think that's already decent value too. So, fun card, I think.
Really cool. Really cool.
It's kind of a shame you have to choose one of your other characters to stand it. You can't just do it on yourself. But it's still a fun card. I think it's cool.
Next up, for our number 9, we have the yellow RR, Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi level 0. First effect, when you play them from hand to stage, you can put 1 card from your hand to your clock, and then search for a level 1 or lower character and add it to your hand. And the other effect is when they attack, you can choose one of your characters and give it plus 1500 power for the turn. So very strong level 0. It's a little different than normal Rikis. You don't necessarily get a plus. You pretty much are hand filtering and searching for something you want, but it doesn't cost anything, which is really good. And you know, just having a pump means it's useful all game. So it's just a very good card to set up any of the builds, really. Super useful.
And we think for pad specifically, they really need to have like a certain board for it to pop off, and then Ami and Tsukuyomi will guarantee that you get the ideal setup every time before you hit level 1, because that's very important in this build. And it not plussing, we don't think is a big deal.
Yeah.
because you'll see later there are ways Pad can get a lot of hand size. So you not plussing, not that bad in this set.
All right, and next for number 8, we have a TD card. This level 0 Millie, 1500 base. When she attacks during the trigger step of the attack, you can perform trigger check twice, and if you trigger twice, then you put the top card of your stock to the waiting room. And the second effect is she's a runner. So this card's pretty nuts. A different form of double trigger where you pay the second stock instead of the before attacking, which I don't think it matters too much. It sucks to not pay out stuff, but the fact that this is a level 0 double trigger for free is pretty nuts. Double trigger is a super good effect for a lot of builds, standby, pants. I mean, anything that you just want more climax triggers is great. And it's a runner. I mean, it's a loaded card. The really only good card in the TD. But super good.
the 3/2 is cool.
That one's cool.
But this one's unique, and it's like, yeah, like it's a good at 0 for sure.
Yeah. I feel like you're always looking for a reason to run this.
I mean, more trigger checks than Weiß Schwarz nowadays, like, so good. Next up, we got this cool ass card for number 7, Kami Musubi, 8K. During the turn this was placed on stage from hand at the start of your encore phase, if you have 3 or more other gods and you have 6 or less cards in your deck, you may shuffle all cards in your waiting room into your deck, then choose one of your characters until the end of the opponent's turn. It gets plus 2500 power. Keep in mind, this not the entire set is not god, but there's a lot of strong gods, so it shouldn't be too hard. But nonetheless, this is essentially a free refresh if you have 6 or less cards in your deck at the start of your encore phase, which is not always possible, but as we all know, free refresh is crazy busted. So I like Bushi's attempt to make free refresh a little more balanced and a little more nuanced, and honestly just a cool new take on it. Who knows, this might be more busted than just doing it on play on your main phase, but I think this is going to be more balanced than just the normal free refreshers that you can just slap and get the effects and then go about your turn. At least this way, you kind of have to plan your turn ahead and you get the free refresh at the end, which of course in some situations is going to be stronger, but I think as a whole it's going to be more balanced, and also it does have the restrictions of needing 3 or more gods, and the payoff isn't that strong. It's just more power. At least you're not like drawing and searching or what other broken shenanigans, so it's cool. I like it. Hopefully this card ends up being pretty balanced and we can see it in more sets.
Yeah, card is definitely super cool.
Super cool.
And I mean, you can also pump something to 5 till your opponent's end of their turn. Not anything. So it's like you can really incorporate this in a lot of game plans. Next up for our number 6, we have this level 0 Sena, red, 2k power. For some reason, she combos with gold bar, even though she's red, which is pretty neat. And the climax combo is when you place the gold bar, if you have 2 or more other god characters, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose one god from among them, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, send the rest to a waiting room. And the other effect is when your character's trigger check reveals a gold bar, you can discard a card, and if you do, choose one card from your clock, add it to your hand, and put the top card of your deck to your clock. This card is super cool. Its combo is like the level 0 ID from Project Sekai, which is a really good card, and this one is great. Also, it's not a brainstorm, but the other effect is also a really useful effect to have if it's going to stay in the back row. Because you're probably going to run this with 8 gold bar. You get to hand filter when you do so. Your options are a little limited by only choosing from the clock, but still it's there. You can discard the gold bar if you want. You know, there's a lot you can do with it. It's a really solid level 0 combo. And yeah.
I mean, a green card or red card just combo with a gold bar. That's just so cool.
So cool.
So cool. And just like the ID, it doesn't have to be in the front row. It doesn't have to attack. So it just sits and cooks in the back row all day. And you pop off with this effect. So cool.
Yep. And next up, our number 5 is also a gold bar combo. This is pretty much the finish for those builds. Level 3 Alexander, 10k power. The combo is, at the end of this card's attack, you can choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. You can either choose up to 2 characters in your waiting room, add them to hand, and then choose a level 1 or lower character in your waiting room and send it to stock. And until the end of your opponent's next turn, this gets plus 1k power. Or you can pay 1, discard a card, and if you have 2 or more other characters, you can stand him. But on top of that, there is a support card for him, level 0 Mei, 1k power. If you are level 2 or higher, this gains the following ability. Startup, you can pay 1, discard a card, send her to waiting room to choose that level 3 Alexander from your hand and place it on stage in this card's former slot. And the other effect is a brainstorm, pay 1, rest her, mill 4 for every climax. You can salvage a character. So that makes this Alexander really cool and potentially really strong. His first effect with the combo is better when you play him early. Being able to fill up your hand pretty much. Fill it back up after playing him. Get some more stock. Prepare your resources again to combo with him again later. I mean, you have gold bar. You have a good chance of getting it back and comboing. He can also double attack later on in the game to finish off your opponent. It's honestly a really good gold bar combo. Great for 8 standby. I mean, 8 gold bar.
Yeah, the tempo this card provides is pretty sick. And its double attack being only pay 1 ditch is kind of nutty because his second attack is going to pay for the next one again. So even if you're running dry on resources, you can realistically at least get like 2 of these off, and maybe even 3 if you combo. If you trigger a couple gold bars along the way, you can already, there's your ditch, and he refills your own stock. So pretty sick card, pretty fun.
Yep,
Lots of cool stuff.
Very cool.
Ooh, next up, we got for our number 4, this level 3 Nei, don't know how to pronounce this. 3/2 10k, 2 effects. When it's placed from hand to stage, choose 1 character from your clock, put it at the bottom of your deck. Second, climax combos with choice. When you attack, you can pay 1, discard a card if you have the choice. If you do, mill 7. If there are 3 or more solo triggers amongst them, deal 4 damage to your opponent. If there's 4 or more amongst them, choose 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room, shuffle them back into their deck. If there's 6 or more, deal 4 damage to your opponent. So, of course, if you live the dream, hit 6, your opponent is kind of screwed. But even at its lowest of just 3, it's pretty strong for just pay 1, discarding a card. If you hit the second one, then that's really scary. And that second effect, of course, will help you get the damage to stick. And even if you don't hit the 6, if you have another one, that you just increase the chance of that one sticking. So if you have 3 of these and you do the combo, which is very realistic for how cheap it is, it's like, and you hit a bunch of soul triggers, your opponent's kind of screwed. And this set does have a lot of cards with soul triggers. So we think there is a build you can utilize with a lot of soul triggers to make this very consistent. Or as consistent as it can be.
And I mean, even it's when she attacks. So even if you don't get the mill the 6 for the additional 4 damage, they still get decompressed for her attack. So
fair point. That is true.
It's really good. When she heals,
because you decompress before even the 4. That's sick.
So it's like, yeah, it's really cool. Really cool.
Of course, if you hit nothing, you're sad. But if you have another one, higher chance, right? Assuming you have a pretty big deck or a decent sized deck.
Next up, our number 3 is yet another level 3 climax combo. Ideal, 8500 base. If you have 2 or more other characters, this gets plus 1500 power, and she gains red. When she's played from hand to stage, you can heal 1. And climax combo with the choice when she attacks, and if you have 4 or more colors on your stage, you can choose 1 level 3 event in your waiting room, a specific level 3 event, Add it to your hand, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, she gains 1500 power and then perform the following effect of pay 2, discard 1 card. You may pay cost if you do deal 2 damage. And I'll go over the event really quickly. It's a level 3 cost 0 event. It's a counter. When you use this, you can choose one of your level 3 ideals, and this turn she gains the ability of the character across from this gets -3 soul. So. Super good card, and the finish for the multicolor build, the 4-color build, she's pretty much always yellow-red. I mean, that's a super easy condition, 10k base, and the Climax combo is really good. She can game end with it. She can deal 2 damage, and she also pluses when you use it, so it's still really good. You can use that to pay for cost, or you can use the events. If you're playing her like as soon as you hit level 3 and your opponent's gonna have another turn, you can use the events. I mean, they're costless, -3 soul in front, which is kind of nuts. And this card's really loaded. If you have a good game up till now, you're pretty much like in a checkmate position, I think. It's such a strong card.
So cool. It's so sick. The only way you can stop is like anti-backup or no backup.
Super good finish for the 4-color.
Yes, which is of course what this set can easily achieve. So don't even worry about that. It's not even a condition. And for number 2, we have debatably the strongest card in all of Weiß Schwarz. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Neptune. For number 2, 3/2, 8500 power. Just look at this specimen of a man. If you have 4 or more blue or god characters, he loses 1 level in hand. Second effect, during your turn, when your opponent uses an event or backup, if this is in your front row, your opponent puts the top card of your stock to the waiting room. Third effect, when it's placed from stage from hand until the end of your opponent's next turn, he gets plus 4,500 power, and the following ability. When this card's opponent is reversed, that character cannot use Encore. So this card is super sick just for that second line of text. The fact that your opponent has to pay 1 extra stock when they want to use an event or backup, I think it's just super cool, super unique. Perfect timing to use that at level 2, and hey, you can use at level 3. And he messes with your Encore, so you want to back up, try to save your character. Ooh, dang, like, oh, you're gonna lose the stock, bro. Oh, wait, I'll just Encore my character. Oh, I can't because Neptune is broken. So definitely not one of the stronger cards in the set, but it's just so much fun.
It's so tight.
It's so tight. It's balanced by the fact that it's on your turn. Imagine if it lasts till the end of your turn and your opponent's trying to pop off and they have to pay a stock every time.
Oh, God.
That would be crazy broken. But I think it's just a fun, balanced card. Your opponent's already running low on resources and then you use him and they're trying to protect their characters. Yeah, like, he can really... There are situations where I think he can be really strong. Maybe he's just kind of held back because he's blue, and maybe blue's not the strongest color in this set. But nonetheless, it's just a fun card. Really good. It can be good. There's potential in this card. It's cool. It's very cool. On to some honorable mentions before we go to our number 1. We got this sick-ass double R green 001K diamond and gold and green Gachadora. Look at them, it's taking our gems and our money. When this attacks, if you have no other character in your back row, you may mill 1. If you hit a level 0 or lower character, place it on stage in any back row slot. Second effect, once steps from stage to waiting room, you can discard a card. If you do, check top 4 cards of your deck. Choose 1 level 1 or higher card amongst them. Show it to your opponent, add to your hand to the rest of the waiting room. I mean, 2 pretty standard effects we've always seen, but meshed together, we think makes it a pretty strong ability. The first effect is just very flavorful of the card. It's kind of like rolling the gacha, you know? You attack, maybe you +1, maybe you don't. That's, the fun of it. So, pretty flavorful in that regards. But the second effect is, where it's really at. Always a good card effect to have. If your set runs it, you pretty much run it. So, cool and fun card.
Pretty neat.
For another honorable mention, we have this blue card, 1-0 Minata. It is 3k. 2 effects during your turn. If you have 2 or more other characters, she gets plus 3k power. Second effect, combos with pants. When this attacks, you have the pants. If you have 3 or more other characters, reveal the top card of your deck. Choose 1 level X or lower character in your waiting room, add it to your hand. If X is 2 or higher, send 1 card from the bottom of your deck to stock, and X is the level of the card revealed. So, pretty solid card. Pretty okay climax combo. The fact that you're only revealing 1 can make it a little hard, but the upside is if you hit a level 2 or higher, makes it so you get a free stock, which is kind of crazy to think about. Yes, it's blind, but still pretty dope. But I think what makes this card way crazier is the fact that it has a soul trigger, which, as we saw with the 3-2 Nay earlier, this set actually cares about. So, pretty sick card.
Great for that level 3. Pants choice, so cool.
Bushi making these 1-0 plus combos, getting freaking soul triggers for no reason. It's like, the power creep is coming.
Alright, and lastly, for our honorable mentions, we have a green card. 2-1 Ateli, 5500 base. If you have 2 or more other characters, this gains blue. If the number of different characters color on your stage is 4 or more, all your other characters gain plus X power, where X is equal to the character's level times 500. And last effect is a startup. You can pay 1, rest her. If you have 4 or more colors, you can choose a card from your clock, add it to your hand, and then put the top card of your deck into your clock. So this card is pretty much just a really good 4-color support for the 4-color build, which is probably the most interesting build of the set. Accomplishes green and blue. So with just her and the ideal, you have all 4 colors, which can mean you can set up your whole board to be pretty scary. 2 global level multipliers in the back, full field of ideals. Too crazy.
GG. Need Neptune.
I mean, global level multiplier is super sick. It's an easy condition to fulfill with the 4-color build. And on top of that, it's also potentially, what was I going to say? Potentially hand filter. You just pay 1 rest if you want to grab something from your clock. So very, very good support for the 4-color build. And speaking of 4-color build, we have the backbone of it as our number 1. This level 1 Horus, Ra and Horus, 4k power. When they attack, and if you have 3 or more other characters this turn, this gets 2k power, making him 6k on attack. Climax combo with the door at the start of your encore step, and this is in the front row. You can perform one of the following 2 effects. The first effect is if you have 4 colors on your stage and the character across from this is reversed, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 card from among them, add it to your hand, choose 1 card from among them, send it to stock, and then send the rest to waiting room. Or you can choose a level 2 or higher character in your waiting room and add it to hand. This combo is super good for the 4 colors. It's just straight up a really good combo. You know, milling on level 1s is great. You get to plus and get a stock if you kill something, which is super awesome. He's not super weak. He's decent power for a level 1. And even if you can't kill something or your opponent doesn't have anything in that slot, you still get to salvage a level 2 or higher, start prepping for later in the game. It's just a really strong level 1 combo, and it kind of makes the rest of the build possible. You have the support for the 4 colors easily at level 1. You do have a card that gains yellow, so you have green, yellow on 1 card, and there's a blue level 0 that you want in your back row. So then you can put as many Raws as you want. And yeah, it's just a really easy condition, and because of that, you get extra benefits from it.
The lows of this card is not even that bad. For the second effect to go off, you don't have to kill anything, and you don't need the 4 colors. So if you're having a really bad game,
that is true,
you still get some value out of Ra and Horus. It's not like super all in. which is crazy. Like the highs is so good, and the lows, it's not that bad. So this card is just so crazy. Makes the 4-color build like from cool to like cool and strong. Like this card alone, I think this card alone like kind of defines Puzzles and Dragons. It's got the 4 colors, the payoff is good, it's strong. And it's Raw and Horus. Two tight ass characters. Two of the coolest fucking guys. Yeah, dude. Even we know them. They're OG. Yeah, so just such a sick card. But that is our top 10 for this set. We hope you guys liked our top 10 picks. And overall, we just think this set is just so much fun. All these cards are so cool and interesting. And there's just a lot going on. So many cool builds you can do. And very flavorful too, which sometimes Bushi just can't do, which we understand. It's hard. Like, how are you going to make, idols and little girls be like crazy flavorful,
That's true.
So they did a great job with the set. And we are going to do a build video for this set. So we hope you stick around and catch that one as well.
But like always, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe if you want more top 10s. Fun to make. Comment. All that good stuff.
And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.